Yo, hopefully you like that. I've just spent a bit of time on a new streaming app, just messing with creating some intros and various other things. So hopefully it'll be slightly more enjoyable, even just for myself when I watch it back to my ramblings of all the things I talk about. So this evening I am going to rattle on. Tried to do this last week. Tried to give my own thesis on the crypto market, what's happening, and I thought again tonight I will have another go at rambling on slightly better graphics, and then hopefully I can watch it back in 6 months' time and see my thesis, my bull and bear thesis. I'm going to talk about where I think the market's going to go, or the possibilities where it can go, and basically argue with myself as to the bull and bear thesis and see what's happening. So anyone is watching later on or watching live, then please feel free to ask me any questions you may have. See, I've got some fancy banners. I've also got a will, actually, I quite like. Put a bit of background sound on. So. Got some fancy stuff, so if you do have any questions, anything you want to understand, I'll try and talk you through it. But effectively, I'm going to roll through my bull and bear thesis of the crypto markets currently. So if we take a look at the current markets, we will see Bitcoin's at 83,000. So this is all Coin Market Cap. If anyone uses this is a really simple free website and app. It's much better on the app. It just gives you a real good overview of the market and everything that's going on. So current market cap of 2.73 trillion. So for context, that's 1 trillion down on around, I think it's the 3rd or 4th of December last year. So what, 3-4 months ago, from the peak, we are down 1 trillion from the peak, or most recent peak. Bitcoin dominance is at 61%, which again is pretty much the highest it's been at any point since about 2021. So certainly at its highest. Ether at 4%, which is pretty much the lowest it's been at for a number of years. And then you've got all the other alts. Other things to look at: greed and fear and greed index even at 24. So fear was in extreme fear just 2 weeks ago when we dipped quite a bit down. So we're starting to climb back up, which is a nice sign, but certainly not where we want to be or where we expect to be in the markets anytime soon. Altcoin season index at 19. So we're into what it classes as Bitcoin season. We were again 3-4 months ago, we were up at the 80s and 90s, but we've massively dropped back over across to Bitcoin. And generally the market is still not very bullish or buoyant comparatively to, like I say, November, December, especially sort of November time. That was a really bullish month, and we've got a lot of ground to make up, certainly when it comes to the portfolio. So on that, I'll just share the portfolio to give it a refresh. It's taken an absolute smashing, so we're at 44. This graph doesn't give it any sort of it sort of retracts back. It doesn't give the full timeline, but effectively we're at about 150 at one point, and now we are back all the way down to 44. So a fairly painful existence with pretty much a hand 2 out of what, 30-40 things in profit. It's buy price, so certainly not looking overly healthy on the portfolio, but I'm fairly good at it. So, and I'll show you why, or I'll tell you why, hopefully. I'll go through. First of all, I will talk about the bear case, I think. So we'll do the bear case. So like that, I just did a little video. Feel free, if you do have any crypto, feel free to let me know, share, happily talk you through it, and we can look at it in detail. Not a problem, but yeah, so the bear. I love that. Play that to myself. So what is the bear case of crypto? So, sugar, cancel. Clicked on the wrong thing. So I go back onto here. So my bear case is effectively the macro environment as we speak right now. Certainly, so when we're talking crypto, we generally only talk about the American markets because that is heavily influences and drives the crypto markets, which is frustrating at times, but also really positive on other times as well. So at the minute, very frustrating, but is what it is. However, the current macro environment, certainly for the US, is no different to Europe or the UK. So it all sort of correlates. So we've got, let's have a look. Now, this is just an article, Goldman Sachs, that they think that 25 is actually going to have a turnaround and expected to GDP to be higher than what is currently expected. So a lot of bull cases out there, certainly when it comes to where the states will be. However, I guess we've had in recent weeks even is the tariffs. So the tariffs that Trump is putting in on China, Trump is putting in on Canada, Mexico, etc., has certainly made the markets particularly scary. And part of that, if you look, the S&P, which is the index of 500 companies in America, has had a massive correction. Again, pretty much in a similar time, but mainly since February. Mid-February is when that really started to have a heavy correction. So 2 trillion was wiped off over the past 3 months in the S&P, in the stock market, and that's around a 10% drop that it's had, where I guess the equivalent in crypto is we've lost obviously 1 trillion, and it's been around more like a 30-40% drop depending on what you own. Obviously Bitcoin's been fairly low, so doesn't look particularly good as the macro environment. However, that is my only bear case. Like, I'm struggling to look crypto and really see what else is in the background. I guess you've got the potential of a black swan of another war breaking out or something like that, but on the flip side to that, you've got the potential of peace in Ukraine and Russia and various other places that might actually get people investing into a bit more risk assets. So, but that is all I can think of. If anyone does have any other bear case suggestions, and I'm really open to it. But the macro environment isn't great. Inflation's not, it's dropping, but it's certainly fairly sticky and still hanging around. And because of that, the stock markets have got wrecked. Gold is at an all-time high as well. So that is the case. That is it. That is all I have for the bear case, which, you know, I'd say I'm more than open to any suggestions. Now, I do have the bull case. That one's slightly better, slightly longer. So I've got lots of things on the bull case, and I don't know if I'm looking at this with rose tinted glasses, but the bull case is as follows. So if we go back to charts, so first of all, we've got a very pro US government, and as much as you'll like or not like Donald Trump for political reasons, I'm certainly not a fan, but he has been or is potentially particularly good long term for the crypto markets. So lots and lots of legislation sort of coming in, lots of executive orders to support and help the crypto market, but just one that caught my eye, that they hold 16 billion in crypto, so about 4,000, something like that. They control 195,000 Bitcoin is what they have, and they're looking to get that to 1 million. So that's quite a nice new bill that's coming in that they're going to be putting through Congress. So hopefully that is a step forward. But certainly it's hard to argue that the US government are not pro crypto right now. That's as simple as that. If we look at total free, so total free is all cryptos minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. So basically all the alts. So total free market cap is pretty much looking not overly bullish in any way, shape or form. it's below the 50-day and 100-day and 200-day moving average, and it certainly actually hit off that on resistance on the 200-day. So it's not looking positive. However, to some extent, it could also very much bounce back, maybe catch up to the 100-day moving average. But the alt market isn't that fun. However, total crypto market cap, so this includes Bitcoin and Ethereum, completely bouncing up off the 200-day moving average. You can see it there, it dropped all the way down and then it's bounced off that. And hopefully we start to climb and build the whole crypto market cap. And I generally think that will be led by Bitcoin, certainly in the next couple of months. I think that is going to start to climb and run again. And then again, if we look at, like I say, Bitcoin, not looking at positive. However, it's just sort of bounced off the 200 the 200-day moving average. Still got a lot of room to go to meet the 50 and 100, but it's not looking as bearish, certainly when it comes to Bitcoin. Then you've got the Fed. They have an FOMC meeting in a couple of days. Not expecting that. Well, the markets will be rocky certainly this week, but not expecting major moves, because currently, unless they lower interest rates, which is quite unlikely, there's a 98% chance it pretty much stays as it is. So unless that changes, so and they do drop it, then that is ultra bullish, but we're pretty much expecting the status quo. And then if you look at the dot plot, let's just have a look at the table, that's a bit easier. 10, so this is the Fed. They reckon they'll be down to about 3.875, 10 people down by then this year. So certainly what that says is there's almost undoubtedly going to be some rate cuts this year, which will only be a wonderful thing when it comes to the markets. What else? What else is my bear case? It's not my bear case, my bull case. Let's set up all these different tabs. Twitter, let's just see what I've got marked on Twitter. If anyone does use Twitter, if it's something you're just getting into crypto or something like that, X even, then certainly something you want to be using, because it really is handy, but you need to be following lots of different people to get different views. And just generally read people's points of view. So some of the things I've bookmarked. So Bitcoin prices always followed global money supply, which I thought was quite interesting, and it has. But you can see it's gone up and it sort of peaked there. 24, global money supply has dropped. We're down to here right now. That's dropped, but predicted to go up again slightly later in the year. So somewhere around May, June is when it's expected to go up, which is pretty much a rough thesis. I had May as my new timeline. So if that happens, then I think we'll potentially see by May a much higher Bitcoin, and with that, a rising tide lifts all boats, and all of that is that normally then leads to the alt market running. So that is, what else? Yeah, that was pretty much my bull case. So anyone have any suggestions, comments, ideas, views? Happy to talk through my existing portfolio. Happy if there's anything that you own, please feel free, share in the comments, and we can have a look, we can debate. But about 2-3 weeks ago, I was certainly getting concerned, maybe a bit longer, maybe 4 weeks ago, certainly getting worried when it comes to this market and where it was going, and should I cut my losses? And I guess my base thesis is is crypto going to go somewhere? Is it going to disappear? And my short answer to that is no. Alts, obviously there are plenty of alts that could disappear. I certainly wouldn't rely on them, and my portfolio is a fairly shameful collection of very ropey altcoins, as I'll sort of go through. So it's all alts, in fact. So do I think most of these will be around in 5 years' time? Undoubtedly not. I'm fairly sure some of them won't even be around in a year's time. But some of them I do think will be around for a good while, or certainly a short while. So my portfolio certainly isn't stunning in any way, shape, or form. But I'm still convinced, hence I'm still holding, I'm still convinced that this is going to run. Just for anyone that has never watched before or is new, this is all profit. I took out my initial investment a while ago. But what I do is then, when I've had it all in stables, when I then buy something, I then track the buy price, which is why it shows a loss. It's not a loss, it's all profit, but that's how I like to track that. If I'd have just kept it in stables, then yes, that is a loss. If I'd have kept my stable coins instead of jumping into all these various altcoins. So that's my, I guess, rough thesis of the market. I think certainly over the next few weeks are going to be fairly rough and fairly volatile, but it has certainly been that for the past couple of months. I think as we get into the sort of April, May, I think we could certainly turn positive. There's some potential white swans, I guess. Like I say, there's peace in Russia and Ukraine. There is the reporting that they might make crypto tax free from a capital gains point of view. So certainly unfortunately not in the UK, but certainly in the States, which I think could drive a lot of people to this market and drive a lot of liquidity. And like I say, the government's behind it, and I just think there's a more tailwinds than headwinds, I guess. So that's sort of where I'm at with what's going to happen in the markets. Just, I guess, in recent news, or even just today's news, Twitter will share it. It's quite a good piece. So just this one. I don't recommend following most of these people because most of them are Muppets, but quite interesting to get a feel of what's going on. But today, why is Bitcoin down? Is that a whale that put a 330 million short on Bitcoin? So betting it is going to go down, and therefore it's sort of taken Bitcoin has taken a bit of a hit. We just check where it's at. So it's 83,000. It's only down 1%. There has been a drive, certainly amongst crypto Twitter, to try and liquidate the guy. But I would say that's not proven overly successful. I think he gets about 86,000 and the guy's liquidated, and now it will cause a short squeeze going up. But I'm not seeing that that's going to happen now. I think the momentum from that move has certainly disappeared. So I'm happy. I would love to. So what I normally do is do this sort of short crypto run through, and then I tend to play video games. However, unfortunately, with this streaming software that I'm playing with, I can't yet stream games on it. I know how to do it. I just need a wire that is hopefully coming in the post, and then I can get back to streaming games alongside my crypto. I would like to do, just for my weird pest control fraternity, I wouldn't mind looking at doing a sort of a gaming with a pesty and sort of interviewing and asking questions at the same time. I thought that'd be quite cool. So if anyone's interested in that, we can hook up, we can play whatever. I've pretty much got most games, or will happily get most games. Team up on, or whatever, co-op on a game, and then at least sort of, I guess, interview and have a general chat about the pest control industry. So if anyone is into that, anyone interested, then please hit me up. It's something I will work out how to do it all once I've set up the gaming part on this stream. If anyone has any game suggestions, please share them. I'm always open to them. I'm currently getting really into Rocket League, which I know it's a kid's game, but it's certainly it's quite fun, and there's a nice learning curve with it, so got a bit of a grind to it. But yes, and I guess see where we are in a week's time. Usually I'll try and do every Sunday there or thereabouts. First time this is multi-stream, so this is on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. But mainly, talking to my people on my Facebook because I get a lot of people like to come on and watch. So should we buy or sell in this next week? Certainly open to any comments or suggestions. My gut feeling is saying buy, or just hold, to be honest, is what my gut's telling me. See what happens in the market. Certainly with the FOMC meeting this week on Tuesday, I think it is, or Wednesday. See what comments come out of that, and just see where the market goes. But I think it's going to be a slow grind for the next rest of March, maybe rally at the end of the month, and then hopefully come April, May is where we really see sort of climbing back to where we were early December, sort of 3rd or 4th of December would be a nice area to get back up to, if not slightly further. So if you have any suggestions, anything like that, feel free, put it in the comments and we will pick it up on the stream next week.